Well guys, and ladies of course, welcome around the fire and good evening to those of you that missed the drive earlier and managed to make the fireside chat. It's going to be a slightly alternative chat tonight. First of all, we've got proper summer here. That's been a big change since last Sunday. Just looking towards where the light is, I can hear the bugs flying into the screen we've got over it. So lots of insects around, lots of sounds around us as well, all the crickets and all the sounds of the evening. So that's been a brilliant change since last Sunday. And for tonight, we're only 3 people in camp, so we're going to be sort of alternating slightly differently. I'm just going to say a few things like I'm doing now, then Rex will pop in and we're just going to sort of work it a little bit. So I hope you enjoy it with us and sort of just go along with the flow with us. It's been a brilliant week in so many aspects. You know, I think first and foremost, still the rain is something that is something we've been waiting for quite a while. And it came along in such spectacular fashion. We had a large downpour. We've had I was going to say large number of rain, but that just doesn't make sense. A large volume of rain. We've had over 100 millimeters, over 4 inches of rain in the last week. And it really has transformed everything. Everything from all the waterholes that are full. Buffelshoek Dam is virtually full. Gowrie waterhole has got some water in it. And just water everywhere, everything getting green, all the life that's come out. I mean, we've seen 6, 7 different species of snake in the last week. And never mind all the insects, you know, just looking around the lights, all the different lights around camp is just covered in insects. So it's brilliant change that in itself. We've also been lucky wildlife-wise. Of course, quite often when the rains come like this, animals tend to disperse quite a lot, and suddenly you go from having, you know, massive concentration of game around the waterholes to really struggling to find stuff. And keeping that in mind, we've been extremely lucky with leopards. Since Friday afternoon, we've had spectacular leopard on the drives. And some nice elephants yesterday, so the wildlife has been fantastic as well. And yeah, I think all in all it's just been a very special few days and a very special couple of weeks, the last few weeks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. There's 1 or 2 things I'll talk about later on as well that I just want to mention on a almost slightly more private level, I guess. And that's about it. So welcome around the fire. It's a special evening. Earlier this evening, and it's going to add into a little bit what I'm going to ask and speak to Rexon just now. He's behind the camera at the moment. Simon is in the final control center. Yeah, the leopard this afternoon, like I said earlier on the drive as well afterwards, it was just it was one of those classic examples of why being out here live and why the fact that you can join us real time. Sorry if I seem distracted every now and again. There's a little red light that's beeping above the camera screen that's not normally beeping. It's not a problem, but it's just something I'm not used to seeing. So occasionally my eyes might look at it. It's been spectacular. I mean, we went looking for a leopard, hoping to find a leopard, obviously. We had a spectacular morning, starting with Rexon finding it with the monkeys and the squirrel calling, and really a brilliant spot seeing her. And if that moment hadn't happened, and those of you that were with us when it happened would have obviously remembered sharing it, which is brilliant. If that hadn't happened, we wouldn't have found her, we wouldn't have seen her up in the tree later on, we wouldn't have then, the other vehicles followed her until there was a carcass in the tree, and everything had followed since. This afternoon, of course, then we went back there and couldn't find her, and just a little bit of luck, hyena came in just at the right time. That was part of the shared experience, and the hyena essentially found the leopard for us, and we sat there for a while, and then the male came in, and spending time with him was something brilliant. So I think this afternoon's drive was something that I'll remember for a long time, both in terms of beautiful leopard content, beautiful viewing and beautiful experience, but also just in the multiple layers of surprises that we all had. It was something that was very special. Just to mention a little bit, I didn't even have time to run it past Graham and everyone earlier. It was a bit of a rush getting back here quickly. What we are going to do is Rexon is going to come join us just now. And he's going to sit around the fire for me a little bit. Then I'm actually going to jump up and be behind the camera as well, just because I think you want to look around. It's not usual to sit around a fire and not look around. And Rexon will tell us a few things about whatever he wants to talk about. That's sort of what I mentioned to the guys earlier tonight, to sit around the fire, and if there's anything you want to say, whatever it is, the guys are welcome to talk about that a little bit. So Rexon, I'm sure, will give us a couple of good things. He's always brilliant with that twinkle in his eye around the fire. And Rexon, yeah, I think if you want to come join me, I'm going to sit with you a little bit, and then I'm going to jump up as well and jump behind the camera. But it'll be my first time behind the camera during fireside chat. It's always nice to sit around the fire. That's one of the things that doesn't change, no matter in what aspect or how you do it or when you do it. But sitting around a fire is always something special. Hey, Rexon, how many times have we sat around a fire together now?
Yeah, a couple of times.
A couple of times, yeah, definitely.
It's really beautiful, sitting around the fire. Something that also, even from home, I really miss it. Most of the time I used to, while I was boy, if I grew up in this condition, sitting around the fire, chatting, and sometimes, having a little bit braai.
The braai is always good.
Yeah, so
it's something I've enjoyed since I was little boy as well. Rickson, actually, just on that point, and then it's part of tonight, like I said, there's no specific plan really what we're talking about. Two things that I've often wondered about, and maybe there's no specific meaning in it, maybe there is with Shangaan people, whenever they show the height of an animal or a young child, they say it was this big. They don't go like this, they show it with the hand like that. Is that just a sort of a cultural tradition or a habit, or is there a specific reason for it?
It's a culture habit. I'm sure if you show it like this, it symbolizes an animal. You know, if you say it like this, it symbolizes a man.
Although it is always, that's for Mampimpan or human, it's always this, and for it's just like interesting.
This. You can't say it like this.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be showing like this. More specific for animal. It's like this much.
Yeah.
The boy was like this much. It's really amazing.
It's a very interesting in the expression, and it's something I've never actually asked about. And just when you said just now, since you were a boy sitting on the fire, it's one of those. I mean, I love it. It's a habit that I've picked up as well. But I just thought it's an interesting thing to know.
Yeah.
Rickson, I'm going to jump up and get behind there just to look around a little bit. And yeah, like I said earlier, we all know that you love leopard. But one of the things I was wondering is just to tell us a little bit why you love leopard, and maybe if you can tell us also the first leopard you ever can remember seeing. That was your first really powerful leopard experience.
You know, it's a very good question, Peter. I mean, since I was a boy, you know, I was very much fascinated with this.
What size boy, Rickson?
Since I was like this, as a boy, you know, I was very much fascinated with these creatures. I mean, a leopard. A leopard is such a beautiful species. The reason why I like follow leopard the most, while I was boy, you know, my brother and my cousin and my grandfather, I remember at any stage, the only species that will make you track, it was a leopard. Leopard will teach you a lot of things on the information of the tracks itself. Because what leopard do, if it really goes here, sometimes it might come somewhere there. And that, if you track it, it gives you thinking. Sometimes if you look at the habitat, you just think to yourself, if I was a leopard, where I should have to go? Because quite a lot of things that is behind me, lion, leopard, lion, hyenas and other species. And also I'm hunting around here in order to be successful, where I might go. So you need a cover all the time. So you think it's here and you have it here, that leopard will go here and from here it will go there. It's something that I pick up while I was